Many businesses confuse growth with a working model. They assume that if revenue increases, the business is improving. But if each unit carries hidden waste, growth only multiplies the waste. If each customer costs too much to acquire, more customers can deepen the problem. If each shipment loses margin, more shipping expands the loss. If each product is poorly controlled, volume increases operational strain. Rockefeller's mind worked in the opposite direction. Before scale, he wanted discipline at the unit level. Before expansion, he wanted process clarity. Before growth, he wanted cost visibility. The early oil industry was young. Commercial oil production had only recently begun to transform the American economy. Before Edwin Drake's well in Titusville, oil was not yet the organized industrial system it would later become. It had existed in smaller forms, collected from natural seeps, used in limited ways, sold in irregular markets. But the rise of kerosene changed everything. If crude oil could be refined into a reliable lighting fuel, it could reach households, businesses, cities, and international markets. This created enormous opportunity. But opportunity does not automatically create structure. The oil regions were chaotic. Production rose and fell unpredictably. Prices moved violently. Speculators rushed in, storage and transport struggled to keep up. Quality varied. Waste was common, and many operators were learning by trial, error, and loss. In that environment, speed was tempting. Move quickly, buy land, drill wells, expand capacity, follow the boom. But Rockefeller understood that a growing market can hide weak operations. When demand is rising, mistakes are easier to ignore. When margins are high, waste feels less urgent. When capital is flowing, poor discipline can appear harmless. But volatile industries eventually expose weak structures. Rockefeller wanted a business that would not depend on perfect conditions. He wanted a business that could survive downturns, absorb shocks, and keep improving. That required discipline before scale. This is one of the most important lessons in the Rockefeller story. If you scale a weak process, you do not create a strong company. You create a larger, weak company. Scale magnifies whatever already exists. It magnifies efficiency, but it also magnifies waste. It magnifies good systems, but it also magnifies confusion. Rockefeller understood that before trying to make the business larger, he had to make it better. One of the most famous stories about Rockefeller's operating discipline involves solder. Kerosene cans had to be sealed. Workers used solder to close them. The accepted amount was 40 drops. Most people would not have noticed. 40 drops was small, routine, technical, almost invisible. But Rockefeller noticed. He asked whether 40 drops were necessary. Could 39 do the same job? The test was made. 39 worked. The 40th drop was unnecessary. This story is often told as an example of Rockefeller's intensity. But to make sense of it, we have to go deeper. This was not only about saving solder, it was about systemic reliability. If you use too much solder, you waste capital. If you use too little, the can leaks. If the can leaks, the product is damaged. If the product is damaged, customers lose trust. If customers lose trust, the brand weakens. So the question was not simply, can we use less? The question was, what is the optimum? What level of input protects quality without wasting resources? That is a much more sophisticated question. In modern language, Rockefeller was searching for a statistical optimum before modern quality systems had names for it. He was asking a quality control question. How do we maintain reliability while reducing unnecessary cost? This is the heart of process excellence. Cut too little and waste remains. Cut too much and quality suffers. The discipline lies in finding the point where efficiency and reliability reinforce each other. Refining crude oil produced more than one output. Some refiners focused mainly on the primary product and treated other elements as waste or low-value material. Rockefeller saw possibility. If something emerged from the refining process, he wanted to understand whether it could be used, sold, converted, or reintegrated. Could it reduce cost somewhere else? Could it become another product? Could it improve the economics of the entire barrel? This mattered because a refiner who used more of the input had a different cost structure from one who wasted more of it. The same barrel could produce more value. That meant lower effective cost. Lower effective cost meant greater resilience. And resilience mattered deeply in oil. Prices moved, demand shifted, supply fluctuated, transport constraints appeared. A business that could only survive when conditions were favorable was not truly scalable. Rockefeller was building a business that could operate under pressure. This is where efficiency becomes more than economy. It becomes resilience. Efficiency means one thing in a small business. It means something very different in a scaled business. At low volume, a saving may be helpful. At high volume, the same saving can transform the economics of the business. This is why Rockefeller's attention to small details mattered. He was not saving money for the sake of appearing frugal. He was building a structure where every saving would multiply. Scale changes the meaning of cost. If a business saves a fraction of a cent on one unit, the result may seem trivial. But if that saving applies across millions of units, it becomes meaningful. If a process becomes slightly faster, slightly cleaner, slightly less wasteful, and that process is repeated thousands of times, the result compounds. This is the feedback loop of disciplined scale. Better process lowers cost. Lower cost improves resilience. Resilience allows reinvestment. Reinvestment improves process again. Over time, this creates a business that becomes stronger through repetition. Rockefeller did not build this system alone. No serious business system is built by one person. It required technical skill, commercial judgment, accounting discipline, operational management, and people capable of execution. One important early figure was Samuel Andrews, a technically skilled refiner. Andrews brought refining knowledge. Rockefeller brought financial discipline, commercial logic, and system focus. That combination mattered, because business systems are built when different capabilities are organized around a shared operating logic. Technical knowledge alone is not enough. Commercial ambition alone is not enough. Capital alone is not enough. A company scales when talent is aligned inside a disciplined system. Many companies hire talented people, but talent without structure can be wasted. A brilliant engineer inside a chaotic operating model may produce limited impact. A strong salesperson inside a weak process may create short-term growth but long-term strain. A finance leader without decision alignment may measure problems without being able to change them. Rockefeller's strength was not only personal discipline. It was the ability to make discipline institutional. When people hear the word technology today, they often think of software, artificial intelligence, semiconductors, cloud infrastructure, robotics, or data systems. But technology is broader than that. Technology is any method that improves the conversion of input into output. In Rockefeller's world, refining was a technology system. Chemical process, industrial equipment, storage, measurement, packaging, transport. The refinery was not digital, but it was still a conversion platform. In modern technology, people talk about software stacks: infrastructure layer, data layer, application layer, interface layer. Rockefeller's world had its own industrial stack: crude supply, transport, refining process, storage, packaging, distribution, customer trust. The refinery was the hardware, but the process was the algorithm. The physical equipment mattered, but the way the system operated mattered even more. This is why Rockefeller's story still matters in a technology-driven world. Modern industries are also built around conversion layers. In commerce, logistics converts demand into delivery. In finance, payment rails convert intent into settlement. In artificial intelligence, data centers and chips convert energy and computation into intelligence. In media, production systems convert ideas into scalable content. In automotive, platforms convert engineering into repeatable products and customer experiences. The visible product often gets the attention, but the conversion layer often determines the economics. Efficiency is not only operational, it is financial. A business with better efficiency generates more internal cash. More internal cash creates flexibility. Flexibility allows reinvestment. Reinvestment strengthens the business. This matters because capital is not only money. Capital is optionality. A business with stronger margins can choose. It can improve equipment. It can hire better people. It can negotiate patiently. It can expand when conditions are attractive. It can withstand difficult periods.